In this video, we're going to go over how you can teach your dog some basic commands. Sit, lay down, sit up, and stand. Now, I'm a big believer in using fun command words. I've talked about this in other videos. Dogs are the only animal on the planet that can read human facial expression besides other humans. And so if you come up with funny command words, it's an added motivator for your dog, and we're going to stress this in class. Now, sit or come or stand, those are pretty generic terms, and there's nothing wrong with using those. I used to start doing it, like for me, this position I call crash. That's what the word I'm going to use for this one. Some of my clients are in the military, and they call stand up attention, which is kind of funny. So basically, what you want to do is you want to get the treats first. Now, we're going to teach you how to do 4 commands all at once, bang, 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 bang. You want to make sure if you're doing 4 commands that you have about 6 treats and you want to have them in your hand. A lot of people like give the dog the treat, then go to their treat pouch or in their futzing around. The timing is really, really important, so you want to have these ready to go. 11, come. Remember, every time the treat goes in the dog's mouth, they should hear the command word and exclusively the command word immediately after. And try to avoid saying, come, or sit. You can say that if you want, but you need to always say it. Being consistent makes it easier for the puppy to learn. Now, when you're doing this, normally I like to use my hand like this because it looks like I have something in my hand. But in this particular exercise, when we're first starting to do it, I'm going to hold it between my thumb and forefinger like this. Now, whenever you're using a treat to lure your dog in a position, you want to keep that treat within about 4 inches of the dog's nose. See how as soon as I get outside that 4 inches, she stopped going for it. But if I stay here, she's more engaged. So, and if you start tracking this way, go back to the dog's nose. And you're going to see this. Now, she knows how to do these tricks. So this is going to make this look a lot easier than it's going to be for you at home. Patience is a virtue. When it comes to dog training, you want to keep your training sessions to 90 seconds or less. If you push too far, what will happen is the neurons actually in the brain start getting fatigued and don't fire as well. And so your puppy typically will give you the best response for the first minute that it knows the command. The second minute, you'll start getting some failures. By the time you get to the third minute, you'll get more failures than you will have success. So that's why we always want to end on a good one and keep it to about 60 to 90 seconds, unless you're doing an exercise like the stay, where you actually have to go for longer than 60 seconds or 90 seconds. All right, so what I want to do, first of all, and a couple little tips, well, I'll go through the tips for the lay down in a minute, but remember the video, we already talked about passive training. If your puppy has difficulty laying down or doing any of these commands, passive training is a wonderful way to supplement that. So if your puppy has a difficulty laying down when you're doing this, which is usually the most difficult part of this particular exercise, every time you're watching TV, your puppy lays down next to you, pet it, say crash or whatever the command word is, and again, try to, whenever possible, pet under the chin. Okay, all right, so I'm going to just toss a treat to get her to stand up. So I'm going to touch her nose with the treat, and I'm going to rock her back into a sit. As soon as she sits, I put the treat in her mouth, and I say the word sit. And again, that was a lot easier. Come back over here. Let's get a better camera presence for everybody at home. Sit. So what I'm trying to do is I'm not going vertically this way. I'm not going horizontally. I'm going in a crescent shape. So I'll show you again. Sit. Then I'm going to immediately get another treat, touch her nose, and I'm going to go straight down. And I'm going to say crash after I put it in her mouth. Now, for a lot of dogs, they don't go down right this easily. Come here, and I'm going to show you one of the mistakes that a lot of people do is when they go to their dog to go down, they go like this. See how she went forward? Because I went at an angle. You want to go just down. Now, that you're already cheating. You're going too far ahead. All right, so let's do it again. We're going to sit and then down. So sit first. Sit. Grab another treat right away. Go straight down. Crash. Then I want to keep one, and I want to go up. And I'm calling it up instead of sit because it's going from a different direction. Up, and then I hold my hand out flat with the last treat, and I stand. Now, stand is something a lot of people disregard, but if you're at the vet's office or something you need your dog to get up, that's a very helpful one to actually have. Now, I'm going to wait for her to SIT, and I'm going to reward her, and this is a version of passive training. Sit. Now, that's really probably more manding right there because she can smell that I have treats in my hand, and she knew if I do sit, that usually gets me a treat, so I'm going to offer that. This is a wonderful way to teach your puppy good manners. So, when you're doing this, now the one that's most difficult, like I said, is laying down. So for some dogs, if that's the case, sometimes when we go like this, if you start going down and your dog gets up out of a sit, then immediately bend your elbow away. That's your way of saying that's not what I wanted. Go back to it up. There we go. Just do a stand. There we go. So, and then I release it saying crash. Now, a couple other things that you might want to do is sometimes, come here, let's again, better camera presence. Sit. So if your dog won't do it, sometimes it helps if you do a zigzag this way in front of your dog, or you push or pull towards your dog. So each dog's gonna be a little bit unique. Now, one other little trick that you can use if your dog really has difficulty laying down. Now, also, before I tell you the trick, be aware of your environment. If your dog doesn't like to lay down, are you on a hardwood floor? Some puppies don't like the coolness of the hardwood floor, especially during the winter. Also, what if somebody is using a hairdryer in the next room? That could be causing the dog to get a little bit fearful or anxious. And they want to be standing if they're not comfortable, so they can immediately go to a run. So if your dog is having difficulty, take note of your environment. There might be some other reason that it doesn't want to do it. 11. So one of the things, the tricks that we do is we get like a chair or a stool where it has a bar going across that's about this height. So I'm going to use my hand to simulate, because I didn't forethink to have one here in the shop, which would make it easier. Let's say, so what I do is I go underneath the stool, I go like this, and I'm trying to get the dog to go, there we go. So as soon as it lays down, I pop the treat in its mouth and I say the word crash. Now, I like to use the word crash. Some of my clients say the word chill. We have one client that they really like baseball, they call it slide. Coming up with a fun command word, like I said, can be a nice way to add extra motivation for your puppy. All right, well, this is how you can teach your puppy how to sit, lay down, sit up, and stand on command.